in, oh man, what just happened?
From elementary school. Look at the person to your left. No, it won't work here.
Does everybody feel comfortable, or does anybody want to practice like one time before we go?
Oh my God. Ah, you guys. Okay.
What are you?
I'm a monster.
And sometimes it's through late self-discovery, through
So welcome to the UnLearn show. This is our first episode. We are extremely excited and just all feel very lucky to have our guest with us today. So Sean, thank you so much. Sean Mulroney is going to talk a little bit about himself, give us a brief background on himself. But if I had to say anything is, one thing that we've learned from him and just watching his videos and reading the articles about him is if there's somebody that understands what it's like to make a difference and shape his own life, well, you're about to hear a little bit from Sean. So Sean, thanks again.
Well, thank you, Sonny. Thanks, everybody. I'm honored and privileged and stoked to be here. So thank you. Thank you for having me. My parents were born in Dublin, Ireland, and then, came here, 10 years before I was born. And of course, I grew up, in the drug era. I was born in 1970. And, my father passed away whenever I was 6 years of age. And when he passed away, my older siblings, had raised me. My mother couldn't afford a babysitter. So what happened was at the age of 6, that's whenever I tried marijuana and alcohol for the first time that I can remember. So I got a taste at a young age, because, I was being left to myself, hanging around, the party lifestyle. They had to take me to parties. Well, fast forward that from 6 years of age up to 13, I got addicted to drugs and alcohol pretty heavily from 13 to 21 years of age. And of course, I had during that time, the turbulent time, I even had, abuse. I got sexually abused by a neighborhood teenager in that area, which I'm not ashamed. It wasn't my fault. Which was these things that I'm trying to find out. And I had all these layers stacked up on me to where I'm at today. So all the abuse, the addiction, all that added up. My dad dying, it was just a coping mechanism. That's what I put into drugs. I had to sort of self-medicate myself, and nobody talked about it. They didn't have the drug treatment that people do now, or even to talk about it. You sort of kept it hush hush. So all these choices that I did created a consequence to where I gave that up. And so stopping there, I gave up the drugs and alcohol, and guess what I did is I replaced it with food. I didn't do as much. And, of course, I already, grew up in an Irish, home. My mother could cook, she could, throw down all hours of the night. We were night owls. So what happened was, guess what? Soda, caloric drinks, fast food, all that. Didn't think it was going to catch up to me. I was a 38 waist in high school, for crying out loud. And I bench, I tell everybody I got furniture's disease. People say, well, they look at me funny. And that's whenever, and they say, well, what's furniture's disease? I said, that's when your chest falls into your drawers. So I had my, everything came down, you know what I'm saying? I was a weightlifter. I had everything up here, but it all fell down into my drawers. So that's furniture's disease. And I tell everybody that all these things that came up to me made me who I was. So that's the essence, and catapulted there. Then the weight gain, and then different things from the time I was 28 to about 21 to about 28. And I wanted a program that I needed whenever I was a teenager also. So I put together Teens of America, and now we've helped many teenagers with my story of helping them from their choices to getting out of the consequences. And so here I am today, and gained the weight. And then, just long story short, I went from that, got cellulitis on my leg, didn't know what lymphedema was. And then from 2000 to 2004, I got stage 4 lymphedema, been in the hospital 10 times, got cellulitis 17 times, almost died twice, went septic twice. And then in a matter of 2 years, I went from 300 pounds to 360 pounds within about 2.5 years, because all my lymph system shut down on my right side of my body. And due to genetics, and also probably putting things into my system that nobody should have put in at that age, and probably pretty much, destroyed my system before it was even developed in that developmental state. So there I am. My highest weight that I got to was 687 pounds.
Wow. I think, Sean, to say the least, I go back to a phrase that one of your, I think your teachers said about tragic to triumphant success, and that it's choice, right? That choice is yours. And thank you so much for sharing that first part of your story, because I think, part of our goal for UnLearn, so part of the goal for each of us as a whole, is to help. We want to help others to grow into 2018. Yes. By no means are we saying, we're going to give you something specific, but if it can,
right.
I get the sense that if it can help one other person in any of our lives or in your nonprofit or whatever it may be, that is our goal. We want to provide that personal, that blueprint, that accountability to help usher in change. And so, we've done it where we'd love to talk a little bit about, the present, a little bit about your past, which you've already given us a little bit of a highlight, and then what does the future look like? So each one of us has a few questions that we're going to ask. And once again, it's just going to be a natural flow of conversation.
Hey, Sean. All right.
Hello.
Hey. Can you define your passion, your purpose, and your why for this change, this big initiative?
And mine comes from something, the fire in the belly, if you will, that I even have as a person that being overweight. People say, man, how can you be obese and have that much confidence? I don't know. I'm an anomaly. I'm a freak of nature. I'm a misfit. I'm like on the Island of the Misfits toys with the Rudolph and all them. All the little. I'm out there. Nobody wants a Sean in a box. You know what I'm saying? That's what I feel like. So I feel like I'm a misfit. I'm an outcast, you know what I mean? Not in a bad way, but I've had to accept myself for who I am. And my passion comes from helping people, is that if I'm put on this earth to help people and to, rising tides floats more ships. I want to make my tide and my platform raise up so I can put more boats out there. I don't want to steal the wave. Most people want to do that. And I'm not anybody to do that, but I want to serve people and I want to make people better and give them that hope that they're looking for in the darkest period of their life. And so what's happened is people are reaching out to me, and what's now happening is that, remember Teens of America, I said I wanted to be the adult that I needed as a teenager, and I wanted a program that I needed as a teenager. Now what I'm become is my why is becoming the person that I needed when I was in the darkest period of my obesity, when I didn't want to live. I was praying to God in the hospital that I just wanted to die. I didn't want to live. My wife was scared. So for a year, I was in the darkest period of my life. And then now what's happening right now is being put together is now a program that I needed whenever I was in the darkest period of my obesity, called the Obesity Revolution. And that started with a hashtag that somebody said that you are the leader of the obesity revolution, and you become the face of obesity, and that with that confidence, now it's given confidence. And then another hashtag was million pounds gone. We've had over 1 million pounds lost from people that have joined the obesity revolution this last year.
Nice.
They were starting to, I lost 40 pounds. I lost 100 pounds. I lost 80 pounds. I went to the gym because of you. And they said, "Wait, I don't have to lose weight, but I want to go to the gym. I've never had a weight issue. It makes me want to lose weight. So I'm eating healthy now." So it's just not affecting, my community, which is my people, but it's helping everybody to see. And now it's like blowing up. And since that, over 6 million views of my videos on my public figure page on Facebook. And then I think close to 500,000 on Instagram. And now I'm up to 1 million views on 4 of my videos on LinkedIn. And that blew up out of nowhere. So here I am. How do you like me now?
Wow.
That's powerful stuff right there.
Awesome. That's so great.
So Sean, I think that you covered every question with Chantel's one question.
Great question, Chantel. That's amazing.
That was a wonderful
Yeah.
question,
Um,
Chantel.
Teach
Just
me.
show
What
me
we
to,
wanted to
you need to
do.
tell me to shut up.
No.
Oh. Okay, well, first of all, I am extremely, extremely inspired by you. The fact that, and I can relate a lot because my why is also my kiddo, my son.
Mhm. Mhm.
And it's amazing what kind of passion, a
Yes.
life that you help create can be your driver. And just thinking about that one life and how that one means the most to you, and you think about strangers who need that why too, and how those are your brothers and your sisters at the end of the day. You know, we're all human. They are your
Right.
brothers and your sisters,
Right.
and they need that strength too. So I'm blown away by your spirit and your drive to keep killing it and keep being the best you that you can be for not just yourself, but for your family and for those teens that are really battling all of that, that issue. I was actually overweight too. I've lost 50 pounds now, and
Woo! Awesome.
yeah, in 5
Yes.
months, no less, right? But
That's pretty
man,
good. Hey, 10
Yeah.
pounds a
pain
month.
in the
That's not
ass.
bad. Yeah, oh man. It didn't come
Hard.
on overnight. It's the hard, yeah, losing weight. If people say it's not easy. I don't care what anybody says. It's easy. I mean, it's easy to gain it, but man, taking it off is a burden and a pain in the old derriere. You know what I'm saying? I get it. It's bad. It's bad.
Yeah.
And it finds its way into derriere too. You know what I'm saying? And everywhere else. You know, so.
Yeah, I mean, I was kind of the same way. It was so hard for me not to want to jump into certain things because, especially with just the story about your trainer and the relationship that you guys have, and how it kind of seems like you guys found each other at like the perfect time, right?
Yes.
And he wasn't like
and perfect.
yeah, like that's powerful stuff, and how he asked you to teach him. And
Yes.
that you guys had that trust was that's really cool. That's something that's special, and it just seems like it was kind of for lack of better words meant to be. So I thought that was
And
really cool.
you know what, Katie, it was. And you
Yeah.
know, he's changed my life. I mean, he's invested in me and showed me so many things, and it was meant to be. It was like I couldn't have picked out, you know, if I would have handpicked a trainer. I mean, it's like God put him like right smack dab in my life, and same with me. And it's amazing. Yes. So it's a great thing.
But you talked about how you experienced multiple forms of addiction, which I mean, obviously I can relate to that too, because it's like you're trying to find that thing that's going to
Yes.
fix you, right?
Yeah.
And you're looking out external, but really all you had to do was turn inside. And that's so cool that like you found that place now. And
Yes.
I think a lot of people will be able to relate to that for sure.
Well, that means a lot, Katie. That, you know, it's a joy. I mean, I don't have to do this. I get to do this. And my greatest pain has become my greatest platform. And it's amazing that if you let your pain, you know, drive you rather than defeat you, we go that much more. It's the, you know, that principle of, you know, I came here, I had a pain, and, you know, I turned away. You know, people judge me, you know, for being overweight, you know. And what I say this, it was like my obesity was my superpower. And people say, what do you mean by that? Well, it got rid of shallow, meaningless people that didn't want nothing to do with me because they judged me for being overweight. And you know what? It was like a filter. Nobody was going to have to do with me. And you know what? I don't want to have to deal with fake people. And if that's the case, I want genuine people that are going to care about me for my heart. And that's what Brandon Gore did, my trainer, is he looked at from the exterior and looked at my heart and instilled principles of love inside of me that are like, you know, just I can't take it. But it's like I said, I look at my obesity as a superpower. I don't want to keep it. Don't get me wrong. I want to sort of put it away like Batman. You know what I'm saying? I want, you know, I want to not stay here. I'm getting out of it. So that's a great point, Katie. Thank you.
Yeah, definitely.
Awesome.
So That's awesome.
Thanks, Katie. And Lacey, if you're okay, we're gonna just go roll to Vito because Vito wanted to get some attention. So Vito.
Oh. I need it. I need it. That's what I'm working on. That's a habit I need to break, right? I need to earn that. Sean, man, dude, your story is amazing. It touches down
Thanks,
to the
Vito.
core. It like rips your heart out. That's what you did. You just reached in my chest, ripped my heart out, threw it down on the ground, stomped on it a little bit, picked it back up, and put it back in. And I don't know
I
why
love that.
it feels so good, right? It hurts so good. I love how you are so driven. You're so inspirational. You're upbeat, even though you're still kind of climbing that mountain and you're taking it one step at a time. You know, I love the thing you said, my greatest pain is my greatest platform. That is something that I'm going to tattoo on my chest. And then I will take a picture and I will send it to you and I will show it. Don't laugh at me. It's a thing. It's a thing. It's LA. You tattoo everything. Sorry. I love how you are taking your unlearned story and how you are helping people. You mentioned Teens of America. You mentioned the hashtags that you were a part of. Million Pounds Gone, Obesity Revolution. I mean, these things are initiatives that are actually having these tangible results. But I think your story transcends, right? Right now, it's the context of weight and you're trying to lose the weight. Look at me. I'm 10 pounds, right?
Yeah.
10 pounds. But what I got out of your story was the fact that when you are going through adversity and struggle, there are highs and there are lows, right?
Yeah, yes,
there's
sir.
those mountaintop experience and there's those valley experiences.
Mm-hmm.
How can you help people who are going through maybe different kinds of problems to endure those problems and see the light at the end of the tunnel?
Well, you know what, Vito? That's the amazing thing. I did a video and I put it on LinkedIn, of course, was one of the first one, I think that's up to like 200,000 views on just the one when I said, get out of your chair. Okay.
Yep.
I was in my chair and I got out of my chair. Well, think about this. Everybody has a chair, you know, and the other thing too is I was 687 pounds at my highest, right? And then people like, you know, there's haters out there. There's like, how did you get, I love haters. I mean, it drives me, you know, for all the positive, you know, the good has outweighed the bad, but haters drive me because I just kill them with kindness. You know what I'm saying? I just say, they're not gonna stamp on me, you know, and put my fire out or, you know, try to put a little cup of water and destroy that fire. But what I say this is that, you know, I did a video called my 687 pound problem. Okay. And I said, I have a 687 pound problem, but the difference between mine and yours is that you can see mine and we can't see yours. So everybody in their place, they have a chair. We have excuses, you know, we have them, you know, excuses are like, you know, feet and armpits. Everybody has them, they stink. And we either make our excuses drive us or our dreams drive us. Adversity either makes you or breaks you. You know, and I'm going through adversity university. I mean, at a school of hard knocks, you know, I have this and I'm not a victim. I'm a victor. You know, I'm not, I don't have that victim mentality. I don't have an excuse. And that's what's resonated because, you know, talking about unlearning everybody, you think about this, here's the unlearning point. We're all in this together. Mine's just different than yours, you know, Vito. You have something that you're dealing with that I can relate. And if we relate to people, and I think that's what's resonating, is I'm going to be up. I'm going to show my struggles. And here's what I'll stop with right here, is that, you know, there's great strength in vulnerability, right? Most people want to hide behind a mask or they want to hide behind something. Well, guess what? I can't hide this. I mean, there's no way the only way I could do it is hide, like be like the Wizard of Oz, you know, whoa, you know, I can't do that. I can't, you know, he's hiding behind a curtain, hiding behind a mask. Well, I can't. And I came out and I embraced it. The greatest day in my life was whenever I faced and embraced my obesity.
Yeah. Incredible story. Like I've just been sitting here just listening like, wow, this is incredible.
Thank you,
I guess
Lacey.
yeah, what really sticks out to me is, you know, this notion of sharing your story and just being completely open with your story, because you never know
Right.
who needs to hear it and who it's going to affect and how it's going to affect them. And I think it's really incredible what you said about, you know, my thing you can see,
Mhm.
but everybody has something. Everybody
Yes.
has something, and
Yes.
that vulnerability and sharing that story, you just never know who that's going to help and when. And I think that's why people are just like flocking to you because it's so incredible and it's really inspiring. And I think it's also your point about, you know, really owning what you
Right.
have going on, and that will really shape your life, because you do, once you face any type of adversity or anything like that, it really shows you who your friends are and
Yes,
who's
it
going to
does.
be there for you to pick pieces. And
Absolutely.
so it's not even a bad thing, I don't think. You know, going through stuff like that isn't a bad thing, because it really can help you shape your life and shape yourself and into, you know, who you're supposed to be. And so yeah, incredible story. I love it. Just love
Well,
it.
what you said, you know, the thing that you said too, Lacey, you say, you know, it shapes you into something. Yeah. And that's what I said. I'm a shape. I'm a figure eight. You know, I have been in shape, and I tell everybody this, and, you know, people look at me funny, and, you know, here's the other thing is that we need to not think so highly of ourselves. You know, to mock things is to manage it.
Yeah.
You know, I beat people to the fat jokes. You know, people like look at you, well, that, and I've had skinny people say, well, that offends me when you use fat. I'm like, you're not fat. I mean, I'm talking about myself. You know, why do I offend you for telling you a fat joke? You know what I'm saying?
Man.
I'm like, well, you shouldn't
get
really
to
be
say
talking
that.
about yourself. Yeah, I'm putting the fact to the fat. You know what I'm saying? So I'm choosing the fat, and I beat everybody. I tell everybody, whenever I went in and I used to, you know, I speak in front of people, I always say this to people. I say, how many of you ever met me? And some raise their hands, some don't. I said, have never heard of me, or if I'm in the crowd. And I said, here, I know what you're saying, man. Look how big he is, man. Wow, he is big. Then I picked the smallest person in the crowd to come up and stand next to me. And I said, don't worry, I just get nervous and I swell. So as soon as my nerves calm down, I'm going to be his size. So just remember that. So I get nervous and I swell.
I don't know what hasn't been said, because Sean, man, I think of you as like a gladiator, dude. You were just like this beast,
Yeah.
and like
Wow,
getting
yeah.
shredded with the sword and like ducking people, and like just, man, you were flying at people, and you were just proud of, you know. And I just think of you as a warrior, man.
Wow, Jake,
and
that's awesome, dude.
and gosh, so like one of my favorite quotes is, true humility is not thinking less of yourself, but it's thinking of yourself less. And I think you touched on that. I think that's what's shining from you right now, is the fact that you're proud that you are you, but you're still humble about it, but you're not weak. You're a gentle warrior. And that's what people need, because they get to see you and all those imperfections that you talk about, and they get to see you deal with it in this warrior fashion. So, man, than's for sharing, dude.
Wow,
I'm just
Jake.
pumped.
Wow, that just gave me chills, bro. I mean, seriously, I'm a warrior, man. I never, you know, I never even, Sean Mulroney and warrior just never, you know, came together. You know, I mean, wow. I mean, whew, a gladiator. You said a gladiator. I'm picturing. You know that show Gladiator, remember? They
Yeah.
had that show. I'm like, that's me. I mean, me coming out there. Whoa, you know what I'm saying? And Jake, that man, that I don't know what to say. I'm
Well,
speechless.
the middle picture I had was actually 300 with Gerard Butler.
Yeah.
But,
Oh,
Dude,
nice.
but that's
you're
just
putting
where
me
I'm
on there. Ho!
at.
Put me on there with Gerard Butler. What the? Oh my goodness! How does that happen, dude? Man,
'cause
Jake, I love you, man. I can't, Gerard, yeah, man. Oh, wow. Man.
Gonna steal the show.
First of all, thank you. And I think if we could end, if you could sum up for us in maybe 1 or 2 sentences, right? Maybe 1 sentence, your experience for the UnLearn show, either for yourself or for the community. Can you just share with us one thing that you've gotten out of this?
I got that there's support. There's people that genuinely care, and you know, I believe in humanity. Humanity is awesome. I don't care what anybody says. You know, as bad as the world is today, and everybody also asked me this. I think it's one of the things that came up before, is that what could you say to your younger self? And you know what I would say to my younger self right now, if I could talk to myself, I'd say, it's okay and get out of your own way. Everything's going to be all right, and love yourself. Everything's going to be fine. Don't impress anybody, but get involved and impress yourself. And so I appreciate every one of you. Thank you.
Thanks, John. Have a
All
great
right,
rest of
brother.
the weekend.
Have a great day.
All right. Bye-bye. See ya. Bye-bye.
if you guys